The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Now is your chance to qualify for the golden ticket that gets you and a guest into every Q101 event for a year. Please don't text and drive. Standard message and data rates apply.
Q101.
All right, we've got tickets for Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness at the Riv, Friday, December 8th. Our friends at Jam helping us out with this one. Text FIRE, F-I-R-E. No, F-I-R-E. Yeah, I spelled it right. My brain heard it wrong when I said it.
You went like Fire Festival with it for a second?
Yeah. F-I-R-E to 312-591-8300. Text FIRE, 312-591-8300 for your chance at Andrew McMahon tickets and the golden ticket. You get into everything Q101 does for an entire year, from Riot Fest to next year's Riot Fest to Lollapalooza to Picnic to people like, there's a lot of shows in between. We haven't even announced yet. You know, it's that time of year when we kind of announce Twisted. Gets close in this time. All those shows. So text FIRE right now to 312-591-8300. Speaking of fire. Fire. Speaking of fire.
Why'd you say it like that?
That's how Beavis said
like
it.
a Sesame Street character.
Yeah, no, remember Beavis and Butthead? Beavis goes, fire! Fire! We can watch that for the show.
I don't want to.
No, you're going to have to watch it. It's very funny. I think you'll laugh. All right. So, speaking of fire, we're talking about the teacher in Homer Glen that got let go after a huge board meeting down there. An art teacher fired after there was a post, Hail Satan. But then it went further and talked, very, very disturbing post, and violence toward children even.
Well, we even had one of the moms call in and say that some of the posts included and mentioned child sacrifices.
Yeah.
So I will say, we're getting a lot of people who are like, hey, at the end of the day, freedom of religion is freedom of religion. And I totally agree. However.
Yeah. However, you're responsible for children.
I think it was more of the violence in some of the posts because there was more than one and then there's a bunch of reports. So I think it was more of the violence part than.
Yeah. We can be politically correct and everything, which is right. But as a new dad, there's no way in hell my daughter is going in that class.
You don't want somebody talking about child sacrifice?
No.
Be open-minded.
No, I'm very open-minded to freedom of religion, of course.
Right.
If you want to worship
it's
Satan.
a little different.
Yeah, Stephanie's checking in from Oak Lawn. Stephanie, ahoy.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, what's on your mind?
I didn't see the post. I don't have children. If the teacher is struggling with psychosis and mental health and violent outbursts, that should be separated from the Satanism.
Agree.
If she's blaming it on that, then that's on her. But typically, that kind of religion, Satanism and paganism, stuff like that is generally very peaceful.
Yeah.
They're very big on respect and consent and not doing child sacrifices. So maybe the school should get her help for her mental health.
I hope so.
So she's not even following the basis of the religion, you're saying. That's just messed up.
Yeah, that's something that's a little bit different, a little bit darker, not true Satanism.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the post is all combined together, and that's the issue of it that got tied in there. And you're right. It's, if he said Hail Satan, you might just think he's a Slayer fan.
Yeah.
And that's it. It could be something that simple. Or example, I just mentioned Beavis and Butthead. It could be something parody, or The Walking Dead, like I talked about, being so into that in that situation. But it had nothing to do with the other thing he posted, which was terrifying, in my opinion, as a dad. As a dad.
The violence should be addressed, but for the parents and anyone else out there, they should also be aware of the other religions and be aware of the fact that normally in someone who's not going to be that kind of mentally ill, there's no violence.
Correct. Now, are you a Satanist? Would you call yourself that?
I am not. I have a lot of good friends that are.
Oh, and they include you in everything still, right?
Yeah.
And they've never tried to sacrifice you.
Have they ever tried to sacrifice you?
Unfortunately not, no.
Unfortunately. I like you.
Well, thanks for checking in. We appreciate you, Stephanie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care. Eric, the superintendent, is checking in. I can only assume he's a superintendent of a school system somewhere in Chicagoland. Is that right?
Yes. Ahoy, Brian and Kenzie. How are you this morning?
Excellent, my man. Thanks for checking in.
Absolutely. So, I'm an assistant superintendent for human resources in another Illinois school district. So I know that several Illinois school districts will disclose on an application, we will be checking your social media. So if this is a problem in 33C, one of two things happened. Either it didn't get checked or it was checked and somebody saw that post and said, it's no problem, we'll go ahead and move forward with this person. And just another piece of advice to teachers, anybody that works in a school, change your GD security settings on your social media to lock it down. People will find this stuff and it will get shared. And yes, freedom of speech, absolutely, you have that. But if there's a connection, like in this instance where you're talking about child sacrifice and you're going to work with children, that's going to be frowned upon.
It just may not be your field. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And obviously the person, if they get some mental health, and the word, bipolar came in here in his post, you need some medication. You need to get help. And we want to help everybody that has these problems going on. And quite frankly, the health and government should do more, much more, to help people in the situation.
Absolutely. If you're suffering, your mental health issues or you need some help, ask for your employer assistance program. Several school districts have an employee assistance program. It's free. Most of them are available 24/7, 365, and they have people available to talk. Ask your benefits person for those resources. And if you don't have them, press your district administration to get them.
I hope they offer that for this teacher.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I thought, Eric, you were going to say, call me. You were very emphatic with that. I like your information, and I thought you'd say, hey, just call me if you can't get in there.
I don't think he needs to give out his number on air and help everybody. He just did.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Eric, for checking in. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
All right, if you missed the key word for the golden ticket, it is FIRE. FIRE. Text that right now to 312-591-8300. That's how you get to Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness at the Riv, Friday, December 8th, with our friends Jam, Brian and Kenzie, Q101. And you're qualified for the golden ticket. Kenzie, do you want to tell people what the golden ticket is again right now, real quick? You do such a great job of describing it. I love it when you describe it.
So if you don't know what the golden ticket is,
Yes.
we're going to pick one single winner. Kind of like near the end of the month, I'm pretty sure. Like by the end of the month, probably. If I guess. Okay. So then what's going to happen is the first thing you're going to get into is Riot Fest. All 3 days. Boom, boom, boom. So you're kicking it off with 3 days and how many artists? How many? Over 50?
Oh, easily 50.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. So then from there, you win your way into everything, even unannounced shows. So it's not just the information that's out there.
What?
Think about how many shows are going to get announced at the top of the year. Twisted Christmas, we haven't even announced yet.
What?
It's going to be 4 or 5 days, probably. I think. I don't know. But we haven't announced it. But unless some people drop out and then it's 3, I don't know. But you're going to win to all the days of it. You're going to be able to be there. If there's pop-ups, if there's lounges, which you can't even buy tickets to, those are win your way in only. Boom, baby, you're there. And it's going to go all the way till next Riot Fest. And unlike other stations, you get to go to next year's Riot Fest, okay? It's a literal full circle. We're not going to stop you right before, excuse me, you already won. This is for the next golden ticket winner. You're going to bump in to the new golden ticket winner there again in 2024. It's awesome.
Oh.
Thank you.
I was waiting for the end. That was great. If that didn't say on golden ticket, I don't know what can. So all you got to do is text FIRE, F-I-R-E, right now to 312-591-8300 for your chance at all that.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, here's where we stop texting about the golden ticket and ask you to decide what we talk about next here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We'll play beach weather and we'll get the total numbers here. You can even call in and give your passion for why you want to hear about one of these. You can sit on the phone while we talk about the next story at 312-591-8300. So we give you 2 headlines, and based on the headline alone, you tell us which story you want to hear more about. We'll never talk about the other story. Ever. It's gone forever.
Forever?
Forever, ever. So, headline number 1. Man says he was arrested in wife's death because he, quote, did not hide the body very well.
Oh, those are the worst days.
That's headline number 1. You want to hear more about that? Text in headline number 1, or better yet, like I said, call. You can be on the phone when we talk about it and add your commentary. Headline number 2. Florida woman doused herself in Mountain Dew to erase DNA after killing roommate in Daytona Beach, said the police.
Woof. Okay.
Now,
These are aggressive ones.
These are both aggressive. A lot of times we try to mix it up, but these are both pretty aggressive. Probably not great stories either way. But which one do you want to hear more about? Headline number 1 or headline number 2? Text or call in at 312-591-8300 and let us know. And then we'll never talk about the other story. So get on it. Headline 1, headline 2. Head to headlines with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Head to headlines. Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and where we read 2 headlines and decide which one you want to hear more about. Headline number 1 was Plano man says he was arrested in wife's death because he, quote, didn't hide the body very well. These are both very dark and disturbing stories. Headline number 2, Florida woman doused herself in Mountain Dew to erase DNA after killing roommate in Daytona Beach, said the police. And overwhelmingly, people wanted to hear a little bit more about the second one. We'll never talk about the first story again. Florida woman doused herself in Mountain Dew to cover up a murder. And this happened in Daytona Beach. You lived in Florida for a little while, right, Kenzie?
I did. I lived in Tampa.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Daytona Beach living in the state?
I think just Florida as a whole, that whole thing adds up. Does that make sense?
You should just cut it all off and push it away?
I know. I love it. It's just a lawless journey, but it's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a fun one to take.
Well, this one's certainly not a happy story, but she poured Mountain Dew all over her body when police told her they were going to collect DNA as part of the investigation after showing up at her house. And, of course, there was a body suspected of killing her 79-year-old roommate. That's weird. She's not 79. She's a younger lady, only 35.
Oh.
She had a roommate 79.
An interesting duo.
Yeah. She has neck tattoos as well. Just FYI, I'm just adding in there a little bit to the description. She looks like a nice lady, actually, but just has neck tattoos.
Yeah, that doesn't make you bad.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's a commitment, though. A neck tattoo is certainly a commitment.
I would argue all of them are.
I don't think they are. I think if you get one, it's hidden under clothes. I think if you get even a sleeve tattoo these days is pretty acceptable and pretty, hey, that looks awesome. That's cool art. Neck tattoo, you're saying something different, I think, about that. About yourself, about what you're going to do. Like possibly pour DNA evidence down the drain through Mountain Dew over your body when you kill somebody. Okay, so she did that right in front of the police, actually, and so she was on.
That's always a good one.
Yeah, not that good. That's what she tried to do to get rid of the evidence. Now, Case the producer is a big Mountain Dew fan. I don't know what you think, which flavor of Mountain Dew would be the best to get rid of DNA evidence.
Well, if she had any of last year's special flavor, which was the Flamin' Hot Cheetos edition of Mountain Dew.
Yikes.
Look, I love the Dew. I do the Dew. I am all about the lifestyle of the Dew. That was a swing and a miss. That was a tough product to consume. It burned my throat. It made me feel like I was going to be eviscerated off of this earth when I drank it. So that would be my go-to. But there is a certain substance, and I think anybody that's ever had it knows what I'm talking about, a certain bitterness to the Diet Mountain Dew that I think could get rid of a body if you absolutely had to. If you had enough Diet Mountain Dew, I think you could solve, or you hide a body rather, get rid of a crime.
Yeah, it said she used regular Mountain Dew.
That's shocking. I can't believe that.
Why not code red, and then you could be like, oh, no, the blood, it's not blood.
It's code red.
Oh, boy.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, well, yeah.
If I made that decision. I don't make decisions like that. But
No.
if I was in that type of position.
But like OJ, if I had done it, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
Amen.
If. Now, the problem is if she did that, and maybe it would have worked. Maybe the Dew is the answer. But they found the DNA of the victim on the knife's blade that she had sitting near her, but did not cover the blade with Mountain Dew.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, there was a big mistake there. A lot of DNA on the knife and everywhere else in the place, just not on her so
Should
much.
have enough. She should have bought a 2-liter.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Q101, about 20 minutes away from 9 a.m. Your next opportunity at the Golden Ticket. That is getting everything Q101 does for an entire year free. Free concerts, free live music. It's a dream, really. It's something people fantasize about, and it can be you. You just make sure you're here at 9 a.m. as it goes every hour. And your chance at it coming up. I'll even tell you what the qualifying prize is going to be. It's going to be Pixies and Modest Mouse at the Salt Shed from Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Until then, we have to discuss this. That's something Kenzie told me during the song that I think...
God.
I wanted to save it till tomorrow for a fact that makes your brain go. As Kenzie's mom and the family was getting together for a barbecue, and I'll let you take it from here, but it involved balloons. Because everybody loves balloons, right? At a party?
Yes.
Including your mom at this point. Mm-hmm. So I want to hear you explain what happened from here on. Now, I wanted to get her mom on the air to get her side of it, but I've never met Kenzie's mom, not yet, and I'm a little afraid of her from the stories I hear. And
my mom's just like a boss-ass lady. She's thebomb.com.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I don't think you can handle my mom.
Well, on the phone, maybe, but then someday I will meet her in person, and I'm afraid to get her on now.
This is not a person that you're going to be able to handle in like a great way, but I can barely handle her.
Loving person.
Oh, yeah, but she's just... I can't even handle her.
Okay, well, explain what happened here that made me almost double over in pain laughing, and I just got over it.
We're having like this family reunion over Labor Day weekend. I'm going home, and my husband's coming with. We're going to visit the family because they're in Minneapolis. And my mom wants to blow up balloons.
Sounds great.
For like the little, family reunion, have it look cute. She wants cute areas to take pictures, stuff like that. Okay?
Very helpful.
Absolutely. So it's going to be on Sunday because we're going to drive home Monday. And she goes, hey, Saturday night, you, Roman, me, your dad, we can knock out these balloons fast if we all blow them up. And then it'd be cute. Well, we'll like tie them to the chairs and stuff.
Yep.
Like, we could do that, but they're not going to float if we all blow them up.
Right. And here's what happened.
And she goes, what are you talking about? Balloons float. I go, when they have helium in them. So if we, I can help you blow up balloons, but they're not going to, this picture wall you're talking about with tons of floating balloons.
Yeah.
Do you have a helium tank? She goes, no, balloons float no matter what. That's how balloons work. I go, oh my God. My dad spits out his drink. And I go, Mom, balloons float if there's helium in them. If I blow them up with the air that I'm breathing, they will fall to the ground.
Yep.
And she's like, no, they won't. Yes, they will. Do you think we're going to Party City when we go? And they're just putting air? They're just blowing free air into the balloons?
It's amazing to me that she, her whole life of blowing up balloons, or getting balloons for your parties, I assume, or you guys never had balloons growing up?
We were within a budget. I don't know. But
floating balloons were a big issue on the budget.
But what do you think's happening as a balloon gets lower and lower? She's like, well, it's just old. I'm like, oh my God.
It's dying.
My God.
Yep, the balloon's old, it's dying, it's just going out.
I could not believe. Why would we spend this kind of money at Party City?
Oh, God.
I didn't want to break this horrible news to her because she was like, so I have to go to Party City? I go, yeah, we're going to have to order these if you want them to float.
If you don't, that's okay. Just blow them up with human air.
Blow them up.
Yeah.
If we're going to make a balloon arch and tie it, that's fine.
Yep.
I could not believe my dad was sitting there like, oh my God, he's been married to this woman for over 30 years.
Now, what would have been fun is if you did blow them up, and then she questioned why they weren't floating at the party.
Bought some crap balloons off Amazon that don't float.
These balloons are broken. We can't use them. We got to get new ones. This is terrible.
God.
They're all dying on us. They're old balloons.
Oh, God.
That is amazing. Your dad's a lucky guy.
Oh, yeah. My mom is awesome. And it was funny because then I was teasing her about it, and she goes, oh, geez, I didn't know one thing. She gets all feisty.
Just one thing I didn't know, the balloons needed helium to float, and now you're coming at me.
I just love that she thought the actual genuine structure of balloons are you put the normal air in them, and they lift off the ground. I go, Mom, then we would float.
Yeah.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
6 minutes away from your next chance at the golden ticket.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Well, as we followed this story and broke the news even yesterday about the White Sox possibly leaving Chicago. Not just leaving guaranteed rate, but possibly moving to Nashville. And, boy, this makes it look more possible. Yesterday, the White Sox fired general manager Rick Hahn and executive vice president Ken Williams. Two of the guys that have been there for a couple decades were there for the 05 World Series, put that team together. And Case, the producer, joins Brian and Kenzie here at Q101 because he is the White Sox fan in the building. And it's welcome news, I believe.
Well, what they're doing is liquidating. Anybody that's ever moved knows, I don't want to take all this stuff with me. I don't want to take all these executives with me.
Sure.
If we're going to move to Nashville, let's have as little stuff as we can possibly have. And that's what they're doing. And, I
they're
think
trying to save money on the travel costs.
Exactly.
Plane tickets are out of this world.
Oh, my God. For a baseball team, forget it.
I just pictured them putting Rick Hahn and Ken Williams in a U-Haul. Just like, we're going to Nashville, guys.
You'll be safe here.
Yep, you'll be
Don't
okay.
ask questions.
Yep.
All right, look, it's unfortunate when anybody loses their jobs, but Ken Williams, Executive Vice President, and Rick Hahn, Senior Vice President and General Manager, they've been with the White Sox my entire life, basically. I'm 24 years old. They've been in control of this team the entire time, and I think this is a welcome change.
Well, they need to do something. It's falling apart in a lot of ways besides just in the management structure, the manager, the players. They didn't get Manny Machado back then 4 years ago, and they went with other players saying it was a better option, and it's not. It has not been a better option.
You know what's amazing is normally when people talk a lot about a sports team, it's good sports teams. The White Sox have won 46 games this year. We talk about them twice as much as we do the Cubs, and it's not a north side versus south side thing. It's just the south side is on fire, and we have to pay attention to the fire.
Literally it is. And here was the statement from Jerry Reinsdorf. This is an incredibly difficult decision for me. Was it? Was it a bad decision?
Well, they're his boys. I mean, they're friends in real life, so it's never easy to let your friend go.
Well, that's what he said. They were talented individuals, long-time relationships. Ken is like a son to me. And I'll always consider him.
Kids suck. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Like, listen, you're dropping the ball.
They also were fired effective immediately. So,
Effectively immediately.
Effectively
It was
immediately.
effective.
Yeah, you're out the door. So some sons do have to be kicked out of the house and don't come back. It happens in some families.
Just stretch your wings.
This is my fear is that when, I'll have worked with Brian for 4 years starting next month, and my fear is that one day I'm just going to get this email that, Brian considers me to be a son. He loves all the memories we've made together, but effective immediately, you are no longer allowed to work here.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. If there's a group vote, that's not going to happen because you do a lot of stuff I don't want to do. I'm like, we're going to veto.
My job responsibilities are doing what Kenzie doesn't want to do.
Which is everything.
So I'm going to have a big problem with that. I rethink that, buckaroo.
Case is afraid of Kenzie, so he does everything she wants him to do.
Case and I are going to a different station then.
Yeah, you guys just go together.
I don't want to work anywhere else. I'm very happy here.
Kenzie said,
I'm already mad at Brian just because you said that. How dare you, Brian?
If Kenzie says jump, Case asks how high on the way up.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Is there? Isn't there?
I like making my talents, for lack of a better term, happy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So cheer up.
4 years with me, though.
Yeah, no,
I don't remember that feeling.
Years.
Don't remember that feeling. Not feeling it. So, also, just on top of everything, the White Sox lost to the Mariners 6-3 last night. Give this stat to Kenzie about how many fastballs were thrown to the White Sox.
So the the Mariners starting pitcher last night, he threw 47 consecutive fastballs.
Oh, wow. That's speedy. That sounds painful in the arm.
Most starting pitchers, might throw 90 to 100 pitches in a game. He threw 47 consecutive fastballs, and you might be thinking, well, surely it was home run derby last night. White Sox teed off. No, did not reach base on any of those fastballs. That's insane. I watched baseball my entire life. When I saw that this morning, I was watching the game last night, but I didn't even realize it. That's one of the wildest things I've ever heard.
Well, because some of those should have been home runs.
Yes.
You throw that many fastballs, that's what they do with the home run derby,
That's
as you
a
said.
strike zone, baby.
Yeah, right down the middle, fast.
That's what, look, I don't want anybody to lose their jobs, but if somebody's going to lose their jobs next, it should be the hitting coach. To not adjust to, hey, the guy's throwing one pitch. Hit it.
Yeah.
That's pretty
At
bad.
a certain point in time, it's like flipping a coin. You're like, the next one, you knew, I get where he's coming from, the hitting coach.
The next one's got to be a curveball.
The second you tell them it's going to be a fastball, it won't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to face that scenario.
47's a lot in a row.
You knew at 30, he's like, come on.
Change up.
I know what's happening.
This guy's giving us a long con. He's going to throw a curveball next. I know it. I know it. Well, it even got worse after the game when Eloy Jimenez was asked a question in the press conference.
There's been a lot of questions about guys having to step up and be leaders. Have you talked to your teammates, and do you guys talk about that moving forward, being leaders on this team?
Not really. Not really.
No one talking about being a leader. The problem, not really.
No.
This is gonna be ugly.
It's going to get worse somehow.
But it needs to. If you're a Sox fan, I mean, I'm a Cubs fan. Kenzie's a Cubs fan, and Case is a Sox fan. So if you should welcome this and welcome the implosion. You have to start over.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've been asking for this the whole season, Case. Like you're like, there's. I mean, I think the Sox fans have been asking a little longer, but the good Lord, fire your friends. So it's like this is actually like a positive step forward. It's like going through a breakup.
It is.
It's like it gets a little ugly. I mean, I'm sure he's going to text him in the middle of the night a few times, but, you know, we're going to come out on the other side.
What does that text from Reinsdorf to Ken Williams look like? What does that you up text read?
Oh, well, it's not the you up text. It's kind of like, I think I made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Will you just come over? We can talk about it.
The Jake Peavy contract wasn't bad. It's okay.
If you just come over, we can talk about it. And he's just trying to get laid again.
Yeah,
and then he's going to break up with her in the morning.
Well, you know for damn sure the second the White Sox hire someone else and their first game they don't do good, he's going to be like, oh, you going to fire him? Huh? He had a bad game too?
Texting him like all caps. Fire him now.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Treatment. What are you going to give him? What are you going to give him 24 years? Come on.
Yeah.
Now is your chance to qualify for the golden ticket that gets you and a guest into every Q101 event for a year. Please don't text and drive. Standard message and data rates apply.
Q101.
Here we go. Pixie's Modest Mouse at the Salt Shed. Is that sold out, Case?
Almost
sold out. That's Wednesday, August 30th, coming up just next Wednesday. Our friends at Live Nation help put that one together. Here's an easy one. Just text MAN, M-A-N, to 312-591-8300 for a chance to win the tickets to Pixies and then Modest Mouse, and of course qualify for the golden ticket. Everything we do for an entire year. Everything. I mean, like Kenzie points out, it's kind of twisted Christmas season where we usually make that big announcement. That could be coming up soon.
Sometime soon.
You were at the promo meeting yesterday. What'd they say?
What did they say in the promo meeting?
I can't talk about that.
Case goes to this is unbelievable. It's Brian and Kenzie. Case gets to go to the promo meetings, and we don't
Nobody
get to go.
invites us. Well, I think I would talk about it.
I guess I would.
I guess we're trying to do. Do you know how many times our PD has come in here and be like, you cannot say that again. You cannot tease bands that you would like to perform.
Yeah.
It gives very misleading information. I'm like, I'm just talking.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Well, you guys don't want to go to meetings in the first place. It's a meeting
No.
after the show. The meeting's not during the show.
But I want you to tell me what happened.
Yeah, we want you to go and then tell us.
Okay, well, play a song. I'll talk about it with you guys.
Really?
People
No,
have.
leave his mic on. Play the song, but leave his mic on.
They're working on the White Sox, aren't they? Get the White Sox for Twisted.
Oh, yeah, Ken Williams is available. I hear he plays guitar.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.